हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम
वालेकुम सलाम सर।
कैन हियर एवरीबॉडी आवाज आ रही है मेरे
Yes sir.
Shafeeq, how are you
Yes I am fine sir. How
hello
about you sir?
yeah
Hello. Yeah.
hello
Hello. Yes sir. Can you able to hear
okay
me sir?
shall we start अच्छा ठीक है hello
Yes sir. Can you able to hear
अतौरमन
me?
भाई अतौरमन साहब
Yeah, yeah. Tell me,
okay
Sajjad bhai.
very nice sir Shafeeq can अतौरमन साहब can start the meeting now he do some introduction
Okay sir. Sure.
ठीक है
Alhamdulillah.
hello
Yeah.
Yeah.
ठीक है sir. Sure sir.
okay आप शुरू करो मामू please
Assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, we'll be starting the meeting right away now. Is there anything other than that, Mr. Shafeeq sir?
Yes sir. I'm just waiting for the participants. If everybody have arrived, then I'll start the session
Yeah.
now.
आपका आवाज एको रहा है मुझे शफीक your voice is echoing I think you're in the room now
Yes sir. Just a minute sir.
hello
Yes sir.
Yes, sir. Just a minute, sir. Just a minute, sir. Sir, we'll wait some 5 more minutes. Let participant to join here. Till that, we'll display the introduction of. We'll have an intro section of AMP.
okay Assalamu alaikum all. As the ma'am said, we can wait for some 5 minutes to others to join, inshallah. Okay. Till that, I will just because this is a group we have created for the conducting webinars for the path of education, and inshallah we will be having a series of program next Sunday also, and later that Sunday also we have planned it.
NGO, like we have so many NGOs, but it is a non-profit NGO here, and it's working all over the world. Alhamdulillah, it's working in all the field, not alone for education. Even it works on education, especially on 3E, like education, employment, as well as economic condition. Okay, specifically we have to focus on these 3 areas, and for that, the AMP has conducted so many job drives and so many job fairs. Though in these pandemic situations, through online they have conducted so many job fairs and job drives. So that n numbers of people have got the job. Those are jobless through the online jobs, and as well as for in teaching field, like n number of training program for teachers, and as well as for the school development program. Before it was like a skill development program. Now it was like school development programs. Various schools they have covered, and a lot of school development program has been done. Mr. Shafeeq?
Yes, madam. Okay now.
Okay. Jazakallah. So, even in so many resources are provided through the AMPs, and not alone that. Apart from that, various kinds of awards and various kinds of partnerships are there in the NGOs. So, Alhamdulillah, AMP was reached to the peaks. And it was successfully running with the help of all the states. It was divided into various states, and in all the state chapters heads are working full-fledged, and everywhere. Though in this pandemic situation, the programs are going on. It was showering like some things, and all the peoples are getting benefited. So hope inshallah today's sessions also. From today's sessions also we are going to get benefit. And in the forthcoming, coming 3 Sundays, continuously we have the webinars. Such a great resource person today is Shafeeq, and inshallah next Sunday and following Sundays also we have a great renowned persons. So I request everyone to participate and get benefited. It is like free of cost webinars. Through this you are going to gain lot of things. So inshallah, I hope today the session is going to be a worthy. Jazakallahu khairan. I'll go to Mr. Shafeeq. So, Mr. Shafeeq, you can start the session.
Am I audible, sir? Yeah. So, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you everyone for joining this session. I'm sorry for the glitch which happened. This is my first webinar, so some sort of glitch. I haven't used the Zoom for a while. So I'm very much thankful to Association of Muslim Professionals, which is a non-governmental organization spread across all the states in India. And AMP Tamil Nadu Wing has given me an opportunity to conduct a webinar on a very useful topic, that is the role of technology in Indian education, or we can say role of technology in education. So let me just start the session now. And I request everyone that this is a free Zoom webinar which will disconnect after 40 minutes. So I request everyone, so in case if it gets disconnected, so immediately you can join by using the meeting ID. Okay. And now I'd like to share the screen now. Is my screen visible to everyone? In case if it is visible, just put a message in the chat box. So today's topic is about technology in education. So I'd like to throw a question to everyone. What do you mean by technology? What do you think technology is? You can just put your comments in the chat box. So what do you mean by technology in this era? So technology is actually nothing but it's a root word which is derived from the word techne, which is a Greek word, which means art and craft. See, in those days, the technological evolution which happened, the main evolution happened from this part only, since no more advanced technological development was happened in the early century, 19th or 18th century. But in those days, you might see in all the buildings or monuments or architecture, people have showcased their art and craft skill. Either they used to make pottery, or they used to do paintings, or they used to make sculptures or statues. So many things they have done. And through that only, the technology has come into an evolution. So technology is actually a root word from technologia, which is nothing but a systematic treatment. That is, if you have any skill, be it an art and craft skill or any other skill, whatever the skill you have, if you try to bring it in a systematic way, of system, then an evolution which comes is what we call it as technology. So from that only we have derived this word technology. Now I'd like to tell you how this technology is helping in educational field, and what are all the things we can do with the help of technology in our educational sector. So before I move into that topic, I'd like to quote one famous quote from an educational technologist. According to him, in 1970, if you had knee surgery, in case any surgery you make, it's not only knee surgery, any surgery if you make in medicine, you will see the huge scar in your skin, right? So after the surgery gets over, you can see a huge scar in your skin. Whereas now, if you go and do any surgery, you can see only two little dots. So that much of evolution has happened through technology. That is, in those days, surgery is a very big thing. If you want to go and perform any surgery in hospitals, it's a very big thing and it is very painful as well, right? And people will be afraid to do surgery, and many have lost their lives because of that. But now, you can just see two dots. That much of technological advancements has happened. If you go to other countries, and all, they perform surgery with the help of robots. They are using artificial intelligence techniques. So that much of evolution has happened. It was quoted by one of the famous person, that is Don Nizik. He is the CEO of International Society for Technology in Education. So with this, you can see how much technology has been evolved now. Now, I would like to bring you a highlight on the history of technology. So you can see in this picture, in the beginning, that is in 30,000 BC, that is before Christ, there used to be only cave drawings. People used to convey their message or anything through the drawings. They used to go and draw in the caves or big rocks. So they used to make a lot of shapes like scriptures, and they used to present their or convey their messages. Then slowly the Pythagoras Academy was developed. So here only lot of scriptures were written on the walls. So in whatever the languages they know, be it Greek language or any other language they know, okay, they used to convey the message through that. So mathematical innovations, astronomy and everything started developing in this age. Then paper was invented in China in 105 AD, that is after death of the Jesus Christ. Then manuscript transcription, then printing press came into existence. So after the printing press only, a huge revolution has happened in the technology, especially in the field of education. Thereafter, public education started in the year 1600 to 1800 AD. In those days also people were having education, but it is only composed to their context. I mean, those who are worthy enough, they can get quality education, like the heirs of kings and queens and everything. But other people, common people, uh, were not that much affordable for them to go to schools and get the quality education, right? So after the invention of the printing press, we can able to communicate easily of whatever the information which you want to share or which is happening in and around the world, right? Then a sudden boom happened when audiovisual age came into existence. So audiovisual age came into existence between the year 1910 to 1940. Here you can see the concept of movies have started, where people started communicating through movies, black and white movies or whatever. Then slowly information age came into existence in the year 1960 to 1980. So information age, why it came? It happened mainly in between the World War I and II. So where if you want to convey any information easily, so the advent of internet came into existence that time. That was a slow evolution. So TV became popular in every households. Then slowly in 1990s, computer age came into existence where people started learning or gaining information with the help of computers. Then digital age came in the 1995, then followed by interactive age from 2000 and no on. Now what will come next? There are speculations we can see nowadays. Everybody are using artificial intelligence techniques, right? Artificial intelligence is what where we use robots or whatever we are trying to communicate. A bot will help you to communicate it or translate it and convey this message to others. So even in our schools, you can see we are using the smart classes. So that is nothing but the interactive age evolution. Okay. Now you can see why technology is required in the educational field. This is the question which is commonly arised by everyone. So even in traditional system of education, people were learning effectively. A lot of innovations has happened. I mean, a lot of innovation came into existence. A lot of inventions has happened. But still, why we need now this educational technology? The purpose of bringing educational technology is to use all kind of modern media and materials for maximizing the learning experiences. See, when we go for traditional method of education, like for example, the chalk and talk method, which we used to say. In chalk and talk method, only the teacher will be the dictator or a professor will be the dictator. Whatever he tries to convey, a student will just sit in a place and will just listen. And the direct learning concept was being followed over the years. I mean, whatever the bookish knowledge they have, the children has to memorize it and they have to just vomit it in examination. But that will not develop any kind of extra skills or curiosity among the children to learn and gain any extra knowledge, right? So it will be like a bounded one. Whatever we are giving you the material, you just have to learn, okay, and appear in the examination and score marks, but that is not the only right way of giving a quality education. We need to use the technology to surpass in the educational field. Okay, so you can see here, so the technology, why it is useful in educational field, can be based on these three factors, that is capital deepening, higher quality labor, and technological innovation. Yeah, now you can see here, what is actually capital deepening? Capital deepening is nothing but the ability of the workforce to create, distribute, share, and use of the new knowledge. See, for example, if you are trying to invest something for your school, like if you want to buy any smart board or if you want to buy any computer, you must make sure that whatever you are investing for your school it should be beneficial for the students first. I mean, you should not invest in something which is not at all required. Like for example, if you have 10 classrooms in a floor, so you should try to invest effectively in such a way. You must try to invest effectively in such a way that at least 50% of the classroom, should get the smart boards or whatever the thing which you are investing. Then only you can able to balance it, right? And after investing and bringing out all this thing, that is, if you have invested on smart boards or computers or whatever the technological equipment required, the second thing you need to look after is the higher quality labor, which means you should hire the teachers in such a way that they are skillful enough to operate those things. That is very, very important. So you can see many schools, they hire the teachers. I may not say that not everybody are having skills or not everybody will be skillful enough to operate these things. Even if they are not skillful enough, even if those teachers or professors are having only their subject knowledge, but they are not skilled enough for using this new technological equipment, means a school or an institution must make sure to give proper trainings to them. So whatever you are, because you are investing, right? So when you are investing, what you have to do, you have to give them the proper training so that everybody must know how to use it. That is very, very essential. Okay. And the third thing is technological innovation. After you give trainings to the teachers or the lecturers or whoever it may be, educationists, a teacher must collaborate with the children, with the students, and try to bring out a lot of innovation. They should create, they should distribute, and share the use of knowledge. I mean, many schools I have been observing, I just don't want to point out any school. I think I got a request from somebody to explain in Urdu. Fine, I'll explain in between in Urdu. So you can see, अब मैं जो बात कर रहा था, you have invested your capitals, like for purchasing a smart board, you have invested your capitals, like आपने laboratory को बहुत innovation से जो भी equipments चाहिए वो सब आपने खरीदी है, and आपने teachers को train भी कर दिया है. अगर in case if you have not given training to the teachers, okay, that time what will happen? After you invest on all these things, it will become waste. बहुत से स्कूल को मैंने देखा है कि आफ्टर इन्वेस्टिंग ऑन दीज थिंग्स, स्मार्ट बोर्ड रहते हैं, सब कुछ रहता है, प्रोजेक्टर्स, कंप्यूटर्स, सब कुछ रहता है स्कूल में. जब पेरेंट्स एडमिशन के लिए जाते हैं तब भी वो देखकर चौंक जाते हैं, ओके ऑल दिस फैसिलिटीज इज अवेलेबल, बट देन जब टीचर्स को खुद वो प्रॉपर ट्रेनिंग नहीं रहती, देन ऑल दीज capital investment which you have done for acquiring the technology will become waste, right? After investing, अगर आप यूज ही नहीं करेंगे तो उसका फायदा नहीं होगा. So आपको हमेशा every day what you have to do is you need to innovate yourself. Okay, जो भी आपने टेक्नोलॉजिकल इनोवेशन स्कूल के अंदर या कॉलेज के अंदर लाए हैं वो सब आप यूटिलाइजेशन करें for the children so that they can able to effectively learn. Then after you bring all this, you need to focus on productivity factors. So productivity factors क्या होता है, कैसे आप अप्रोच कर सकते हैं? Number one, through the technology literacy approach. टेक्नोलॉजी लिटरेसी अप्रोच ये है कि सिर्फ आप सीख जाएं और दूसरों को ना सिखाएं, ये एक अलग बात है, राइट? यू मस्ट मोटिवेट द चिल्ड्रन टू यूज दीज टेक्नोलॉजीज इन ए प्रॉपर वे. अब हर घर में स्मार्टफोन्स है, राइट? स्मार्टफोन के फायदे भी हैं, नुकसान भी हैं. सी अब कोविड में ऑल द क्लासेस आर रनिंग ऑनलाइन ड्यू टू दिस कोविड पैंडेमिक. अब हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि ऑनलाइन क्लासेस इफेक्टिव नहीं है. बहुत से पेरेंट्स का ये कंप्लेंट आ रहा है कि ऑनलाइन क्लासेस जो है लाइक ट्रेडिशनल क्लास के कंपैरिजन में इफेक्टिव नहीं है करके. बट वी कैन नॉट से दैट. यही अब एक रास्ता है स्टूडेंट्स को एंगेज करने, स्टूडेंट्स के साथ हमारे जो नॉलेज है वो शेयर करने और उनको डेवलप करने के लिए यही एक रास्ता है. वी कैन नॉट से एंड दैट नाउ वी कैन नॉट यूज द टेक्नोलॉजिकल अप्रोच. बट जब आप टेक्नोलॉजिकल अप्रोच यूज करते हैं तो स्टूडेंट्स को भी ऐसे मोटिवेट करें कि उसके जरिए वो फायदा उठाए, सही फायदा उठाए. दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ यू आर सेटिंग अप ए कंप्यूटर लैब इन योर स्कूल, you must make sure that at least once in a week आप कंप्यूटर लैब पे ले जाएं उनको कंप्यूटर बेसिक सिखाएं और जो भी सिलेबस में है वो सब प्रैक्टिकल ओरिएंटेड सिखाएं. अदरवाइज आफ्टर सेटिंग अप कंप्यूटर लैब क्या हो जाएगा, सिर्फ वो कंप्यूटर्स स्कूल में सड़े पड़े रहेंगे, बट इफ यू आर नॉट यूजिंग इट, हाउ इट इज गोइंग टू बेनिफिट टू द चिल्ड्रन? That is very very important, right? So you must try to bring the technology literacy approach. Second thing, knowledge deepening approach. Knowledge deepening approach ये है कि not only to the teachers, to your colleagues, mostly you must try to make sure जो भी students हैं, जो भी community workforce हैं, इन सबको इसका knowledge, इन सबको इस technology पे इस तरह आरास्ता करें कि वो अपनी knowledge को बढ़ाएं. They should get an interest to use this latest technologies in their daily life, not only for the classroom but for their daily life approaches. Okay, and the third one, knowledge creation approach. Then you should also motivate the children after getting knowledge. Okay, the student should apply it so that he can bring out some creativity in them. Like अब आपने recently news देखा होगा that many students, they are willingly participating in the events organized by NASA. Okay, and you might have seen the news which is going around that many students have found the asteroids which is approaching nearby the earth just by sitting in their computer. And many students are developing programming languages and building lot of apps for the mobile phone, which is beneficial for the society. So इस टेक्नोलॉजी का यही एक फायदा है. इट्स नॉट ओनली दैट जो भी बुक्स में है उसको आप वीडियो में बताएं और छोड़ दें और कह दें कि ओके हमने तो टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करके जो भी कंटेंट्स हैं वीडियो के जरिए बता दिया. नो, इट शुड नॉट बी आवर एंड मोटो. आवर मेन मोटो इज विद द हेल्प ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी you should also make sure the student should get interest to bring out their creativity as well. क्योंकि आपने देखा होगा just some 2 years or 3 years back, okay, ATM machines हर जगह पे थे, अभी भी हैं, but if you go to foreign countries and all, nowadays people are using ATM machines very rare. In fact, people are not visiting banks at all. बैंक कोई नहीं जा रहे. The reason is now we have everything banking in our mobile phone, in smartphone. So इतना update हो चुका है. Even if you want to get a doctor appointment, you can get an appointment online itself. Doctor will, see you online itself and he will diagnose whatever the disease you have, right? So इतना advancement आ चुका है. So within 5 years or 10 years, we don't know how much technological advancements will come. So हमें अपने बच्चों को ऐसे तैयार करना है कि जो भी टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट हो उससे वो आरास्ता हो, उससे वो उसके तरफ जाएं, उसके तरफ रुजू हो, right? So they should get that interest towards the technological driven approach. whatever the technology may come, be it artificial intelligence or anything, robotics, we must give at least the basic knowledge in the schools and colleges so that the children should not face difficulties in their future. That should be our main motto. Okay. Now next, I'd like to discuss few more things here. You can see what are all the technological tools which you can bring in our schools. One is computer in the classroom. This is very, very essential. Why means there are certain concepts which you can communicate with the children, which you can teach the children through practical means. Like for example, when you're talking about the plant, it is not necessary that you should only show the plant picture in the computer and then you say this is the plant, this is the leaf, this is the color of the leaf, and this is how photosynthesis takes place. ये हम कंप्यूटर में नहीं बता सकते. अगर ऐसा बता के आप छोड़ देंगे तो आप injustice कर रहे हैं, right? So what you have to do is, there are certain things which you must teach in practical way. You should take the children on field. You should explain them how a leaf look like. You should explain them how a flowers look like. You should give them a flower and then you should teach them the dissection. Flowers को कैसे आप dissect करते हैं और कैसे flower के parts आप पहचान सकते हैं. ये सब अगर आप demonstration करके दिखाना है. टेक्नोलॉजी आ गई, ओके मैं सिर्फ कंप्यूटर में वीडियो प्ले करके दिखा दूं, इस पर you should not stop with this. But for certain things you have to use technology. Like for example, if you are teaching about human anatomy, अब आप सर्जरी करके तो नहीं दिखा सकते how the heart functions, how the brain functions. इसको आप सर्जरी करके नहीं दिखा सकते, right? For those things nowadays we have simulations. तब आपको कंप्यूटर की जरूरत पड़ेगी. So a proper and precise planning is very, very important. As a teacher or as a educator, whoever it may be, whether it is a college or school, आप पहले planning करना चाहिए. So before you start teaching to the students, the first main thing is you should have a precise micro planning. Every day 40 minutes में 25 minutes only is my teaching. So in that 25 minutes, how I am going to teach, what are all the things, what are all the tools and equipments which I can use for teaching. ये सब आप plan करना चाहिए, right? So it should not be like just हम class को चले गए और जो भी topic है, which we ask the student to open the book and we ask them to read and write. That should not be our motto. Exact and precise planning is required. Classroom को आप ऐसे divide करना है. So first 5 minutes you should motivate them. You should ask them what you have learned in the previous class, previous teacher, previous subject में आपने क्या सीखा. You should divert them. You should bring it to your zone. Then you should try to tell some general topics through which you have to dive into the subject. That is, you should give a warm-up session for 5 minutes and then you should dive into the subject. Then you have to plan accordingly. Okay, 10 minutes I have to explain the definition using normal board, chalk and talk method. Then if anything else is required, what video or what animation or what simulation I can play using computer. Okay, ये आप decide करना है. So that is where the computer plays a major role. The second thing what you have to do to bring technological innovation tool is should create a class blogs and Wikipedia. I know in urban schools it is happening, in city schools it is happening, but in rural schools they are still in the learning process. आप क्या कर सकते हैं, वो जमाने में जो है स्कूल में नोटिस बोर्ड रहता था, right? But nowadays nobody looks the notice board. So notice board में जो भी information, जो भी creativity, बच्चे अगर आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट वर्क किया है या कुछ और innovation thing उन्होंने किया है, तो आप क्या कर सकते हैं, instead of just putting it in notice board, you can create your own class blogs and Wikipedia pages and उस पर आप अपने बच्चों के creativity आप उस पर upload कर सकते हैं, so that anybody else can view and others also can gain knowledge, right? The third thing, wireless classroom microphones. This is not essential. In case if it is essential, especially it is happening in other countries, हर बच्चों के पास लैपटॉप होता है और हेडफोन्स होता है, but here it will not work out. So this you can keep it as a secondary thing. Mobile devices in other countries it is being followed, but Again, once again, I'm telling you, only when it is required, then you can use this technological tool, that is mobile. If it is not required, no need. When you can use mobile devices means if you want to share any information to the parents, then you can use. That is, nowadays we have a lot of ERP softwares for every school, where any information which has to be passed, it is being passed to the parents. And nowadays, due to this pandemic, we are using Google Classroom, right? So वो सब आप मोबाइल पर ही access कर सकते हैं. So what you can do is you can send your homeworks through Google Classroom. बच्चा अपने घर में बैठ कर ही access करके homework कर सकता है. Then interactive whiteboard, this is very important. अब आप कह सकते हैं, okay, in private schools it is working out, but what about government schools? See, government is also trying their utmost effort to bring all these technological tools. I'll discuss about that in the next slide. Okay. Then digital video on demand. So what you can do is, in YouTube nowadays, a lot of interactive videos are available. You can pick those videos and you can show them. Like as I said, if you want to teach about the function of heart or function of your brain, okay, if you want student to understand that concept in a very precise way, then what you have to do, you have to show these type of videos only. आप note करके रख लीजिए, there are a lot of websites where it provides simulation softwares and simulation videos. Like for example, FET simulator करके एक software है, PHET, FET simulator. आप अगर वो software use करेंगे, तो if you are a science teacher, if you are teaching physics or chemistry or bio, those concepts have been explained in a very interactive way. अब बच्चों को atoms and molecules के बारे में आप पढ़ा रहे हो, so unless and until you give some imagination to them, okay, you cannot teach effectively to the children. Atom and molecule just उनके लिए एक imagination होगा, right? So अगर आप तो FET simulator अगर आप चलाएं, अगर आप सिखाएं बच्चों को, तो it will be very effective, right? Then one more thing what you can do is online media. See, nowadays we have a lot of media, especially for education. Like आपने TED Talk तो सुना होगा. TED Talk का एक और है, like TED Ed बोल के. I'll put that in chat box. आप note कर लें, TED Ed बोल के. अगर आप YouTube में TED Ed अगर search करें, तो कोई भी टॉपिक उठा लो, whichever the subject you take, social, maths, English, whatever you take, हर टॉपिक्स के बारे में आपको इंटरैक्टिव 5 to 10 minutes वीडियोस आपको मिलेगा, और वो सब 3D वीडियोस जैसा होगा, एंड इट विल ब्रिंग मोर इंटरेस्ट टू द चिल्ड्रन, राइट, इन लर्निंग. अगर आप सिर्फ कहेंगे तो समझ में नहीं आएगा. हिस्ट्री कॉन्सेप्ट्स एंड ऑल विल बी वेरी बोरिंग टू देम. So for history concepts and all, what you can do, you can use online media to show them the extra information. So it will help them to develop their visual skills. Visual skills like visual and auditory skills is a part of multiple intelligence theory. So उनके अंदर visual देखने की skill और सुनने की skill जो है develop होगा, right? So even अगर एक backbencher है यानी कि slow learners, nowadays there is no backbencher concept. And there is no slow learner concept as well. We can say that they are the late bloomers. एक नया concept आया है. We can call those slow learners as late bloomers. समझ जाते हैं but थोड़ी देर में समझेंगे वो, वैसे बच्चे होते हैं. For those students, this online media is very, very effective. Then we have online study tools. That is what which we are using now, right? Zoom and Google Classroom, Microsoft Team, whatever. Okay, ये सब कुछ, all these things, we can use, but only when it is required. Let me tell you again, we cannot use online study tools in our daily life every day. Now due to COVID pandemic, this is essential. This has become essential. We cannot take risk by calling the children to school, and without any proper social distancing measure, we cannot take risk. So that is the reason we are using online study tools. But then these online study tools must be used only when it is required. Especially youths can use, like for example, those who have completed college and are appearing for the online examinations, like competitive examinations like Group 1, TNPSC, IAS exams or whatever. For them to prepare, online study tool is very effective. because nowadays very rarely I can see students are visiting library, right? उस जमाने में library था, library हम visit करते थे. It is compulsory for us to go pick some books and read. But nowadays कोई भी library की तरफ ही नहीं जाता है. So we should also balance this both. We should also bring interest to the student to learn, to gain the knowledge from the books as well. Plus this online study tool will help them to perform online assessment and which will be helpful for them to score well in the competitive exams. Then the final thing is digital games. Just now I said right about the FET simulator. Likewise, so many other apps are available in Play stores, okay, where you can teach the students with the help of games. Like for example, in chemistry, you have something called periodic table, right? So in periodic table, if you want to remember all the elements, it is very, very difficult. Or if you want to learn any new words, new vocabularies, okay, it is very, very difficult. Unless and until you speak, you communicate with each other, it will be difficult. But now with the help of smartphones also you can learn. You have so many games, word puzzles, crossword puzzles, all these have come into mobile itself. So you can show that as well and you can interact with the student for effective learning approach. So these are all the technological tools you should, if you try to implement in your classroom, then I will tell you your institute or school or college will become one of the best in our town. Not only best in our town, it can be best in our country as well. Now I'll tell you how the government of India is managing the landscape of schools with the help of this technology. I'll tell you, school education, you know how many schools are there? There are around 1,29,800 schools, secondary schools is available in all over India. And over 11 lakh elementary schools is available in all over India. And nearly 55 lakh teachers are there. Now you can see, if it is a country like Finland or New Zealand, their giving quality education is very easy. I have attended various webinars and seminars where people will quote examples of Finland education. People will quote examples of American system of education. But let me tell you, handling a small population is easy. You cannot handle a big population where 1,29,800 secondary schools are there, crores of students are studying. 11 lakh elementary schools are there, billions of students are studying. अब हर schools में ऐसे technologies लाना, it is impossible, but it is possible. So possible कौन किया है? There are a lot of stakeholders in state level. You can see, I'll zoom for you. So you can see a lot of stakeholders are available in school level. They are trying their level best to give a quality education to the children. Like you can connect with open school people, you can connect and you can provide adult education for the children. All these are things. Now you know only this thing, right? District educational office, you know, but district educational office, what they are trying to do is they are connecting with SCERT, State Council of Education and Research Training, and State Information and Education Technology, SIET. These two things, these two organizations, government organizations, started in 1970s itself, and whatever the technological tools which is required for giving effective training to teachers, okay, they are providing. So we must contact them, we must be in touch with them, we must regularly see their website to get all the new innovation which they are bringing for the quality education in schools. Okay, and then in central level, this is for state level actually, and then we have in central level, that is NCERT. That central level is purely for CBSE schools, Kendra Vidyalaya schools, Navodaya Vidyalayas, etc. Okay, and their curriculum, their system of design, everything is framed by NCERT. Like how we have SCERT here, the same way NCERT does that. National Council of Education and Research Training, and they too have National Council of Technology Education, NCTE portal, and Central Institute of Technology, Educational Technology, CIET. All these organizations, they are giving effective measures in providing the best technological tools to the school, which you can approach them, which you can regularly monitor them. Nowadays, everything has been combined as MHRD, that is Ministry of Human Resource Development. अगर आप उनके वेबसाइट को जाकर देखेंगे, so whatever the innovations which they are bringing, you can see, you can get updated to it. Okay, now how they are helping, let me tell you. Why they are helping actually means we are facing these many problems in our education system. The first thing is poor infrastructure in our schools. See, I'm not going to blame anybody. See, as I said already, our population is more, and the population of middle class and poor people, it is at peak in India because of the economic problems. Now, due to the economic downfall, we cannot expect all the schools with the best infrastructure as possible, but we can connect with government. They are providing a lot of funds, they are providing a lot of scholarships to the students, and also they are providing a lot of funds where you can approach to the government and you can bring in those things to develop your infrastructure. One such fund I'll discuss in my next slide, which every school, every recognized government aided schools as well as the state board schools can approach to the government to develop their infrastructure. Okay. Another one is low accessibility. Many people are not aware of it. Many people are still, they don't know how to use the mobile phone. Many, they don't know how to use the computers effectively. So that is one thing. And few people, few schools, they are providing costly education. Costly education in the sense, those who are affordable to give all this infrastructure, their fees is high. See, we cannot blame them as well. When they are providing, actually, if they are providing a quality infrastructure, obviously when you are investing in capital, you have to, you have to increase the fees as well. You cannot say, okay, I have invested crores of rupees for providing the best infrastructure for the students and I will give free education. Yes, you cannot earn profit, right? Now we have to balance it. How we can balance that, we will see now. Then low pass rate. So because of this thing, because of all these system, you can see when you don't have infrastructure, when you don't have accessibility, then obviously it will affect the result. Student will only memorize and they will learn. They will not learn effectively. So the low pass rate is one of the key concern in Indian education system. And then the final thing is lack of good teachers in the schools. We cannot say lack of good teachers. We can say we are lacking the teachers who are not updated enough. The reason being, if you go to any government schools, the service for the government sector teachers is nearly up to 56 years, right? 56 or 57. I'm not sure about it. Those who have born before 1980s, okay, for them to adapt all this technological innovation or technology is very difficult for them. For them only we need to focus and give them training. Consistent training is required. अगर हम वो कर देंगे तो definitely this concept will be neutralized. इसको आप remove कर सकते हैं. And then rat race. You can see many schools, they are giving fake promise. Like if you join in our school, you will pass in everything. You will get good results. You will get, you can able to score well in the competitive exams. All these are rat race and they are charging more fees. And due to that, the people of lower section, low backgrounds, poor people, they are not able to get the quality education in the schools. So all these you have to sort out these problems by neutralizing the system. Infrastructure in the sense, if you have proper classroom and if you have 10 classrooms in a floor, what you can do is at least 5 classrooms you can bring projectors, you can contribute it and you can bring. And lab facility, we are not talking about high and sophisticated labs. You can approach the government, you can ask for funds and you can set up your lab, and whatever the best possible ways you have, you can give. Then when you are teaching about practical thing, you can take children out. Okay, it should not be like extracurricular activity. Now many schools, they have framed a new thing. Extracurricular means when you are bringing the children for outdoors, okay, for what we can say, for activity based learning. People are confused that it should be only coming under extra education, I mean extracurricular activity. It should be our main curricular activity. Whatever the activities which is given in the book, it is mostly in practical oriented form. You can use basic instruments or basic things with which you can able to teach the children. Even with a scrap also you can teach about the science concepts to the students. So that should be our main curricular activity. It should not be considered as an extra one. Now, I was talking about the funds, right? So many schools, the laboratory infrastructure is very in pathetic condition. So government has initiated something called adult tinkering labs. You can visit this website. This will be very helpful for all the schools, be it CBSE or state board or metric, whatever you take. This the purpose of this adult tinkering labs is to set up creative labs with all the technological instrumentation which is required, or whatever the instruments which is required for the labs. They are just coming and setting up at free of cost. But there are a lot of guidelines for this. In your school, it must be around some 1,000 should be your school strength. Okay, below 1,000, if your school strength is below 1,000, then for this, I mean, you cannot approach. So what you can do is you can approach these kind of funds which has been set up by our Prime Minister. Okay, and this concept was brought some 2-3 years back, and many schools in all over India, okay, be it central government or state government, they have approached and they have applied for it. And to support this, many organizations like Dell and many other information IT technology like Dell, Lenovo, and all, they have joined the hands with adult tinkering labs, so that they provide funds to the school which is actually in need, so they can renovate their labs with the help of this. Next, I'd like to tell you, this is very important thing. Whatever the technology you use, okay, whatever the innovation which you bring to your school, there will be obviously, there will be limitations in the sense advantages, I mean disadvantages. We cannot completely rely on technology only. So we have to make sure that we are using technology only when in need. Okay, so what are the limitations which is there with the use of technology? The first thing is copy paste syndrome. Copy and paste syndrome is nothing but, nowadays you can see many are getting PhD degrees very easily. I don't want to blame any university or any organization, but in reality, recently a news came which was published by UGC, that is University Grants Commission, where they have given a report that whatever the PhDs which they have done, they have just copied the research articles which is already being published before. And now tell me, what will be the use of such knowledge? Even nowadays, I'm seeing many teachers who are going for B.Ed trainings, they just wanted to, they just wanted to do this or finish this B.Ed or M.Ed without even going to college. Just because they are working somewhere in jobs, they are in jobs, and they don't even want to go once in a week to the college, but they want their exams to happen and they should get the results. Why this is happening? This is all happening because of this copy and paste syndrome. The reason is we are getting everything in Google. We can Google it. We don't even have to get the books from the school or colleges. So they acquire a lot of information, and whatever they have acquired the information, they are just copying. They are just pasting it during the exam time. That is actually drastically affecting the students, and it will absolutely affect the future of quality education. Okay, so it should be used very effectively. Googling and getting information is good, but you should also make sure it should be real. Whatever you are searching in Google, it should be real. You might have seen so many rumors or so many false information are being posted in Google, right? About COVID itself, you can see so many things came in Google. Few said it came from bats, few said it came from animal meat. But then finally it is just a virus, okay? From where it comes, how it spreads, we have to wait, we have to analyze deeply, and then only we should come into a conclusion. What we do, whatever we see in Google, we just believe and think that, okay, whatever the information I have got is real. So most of the times, the reality will not be shown or will not be present in whatever you are searching. There will be a lot of distortion in the reality. So you must teach the children, you must teach your children and your colleagues that whenever you are searching any information, you should cross verify it. And then only you should gain it. Okay. Then too much of trust in the information from, as I said, whatever you see in the Google or WhatsApp, okay, you believe in it. Okay, that should not be there. That should not be our motto. In those days, if you want to acquire any information, we used to refer a lot of books in the libraries. There will be a lot of references, and then only we come to conclusion. That should be our motto. Then only you can able to improvise your knowledge. And then last one, loss of privacy and profiling. This is especially for the researchers, the students who are working, who are doing MPhil or PhD. So what they try to do is, somebody might be working very hard, okay, but then what will happen when they post their research work? Somebody just to copy and as I said already, copy and paste syndrome will happen. Somebody will just misuse your copyrighted content. That is why I'm telling you, whenever you are posting something, if it is actually your research based, what you do, you have to get the copyright for everything. Okay, that should be your motto. That's how you should innovate. You should teach the students. Okay. I'm sorry for the interruption. There is one chat box which is coming. Yeah. So all this I just wanted to discuss with you all. So let me conclude my message. Let me conclude my webinar by telling you that even though technology has evolved and it has got a lot of benefits for everyone, but I'll tell you, technology should be used only for certain purposes. It should be in some limits. It should not be our main focus. So we must try to engage to develop the life skills of the students. Our main motto must be to develop the life skills of the students. So we must make sure that every student who is sitting now at home, okay, due to the pandemic, they should not waste their time. Not only now, even after the pandemic, they should not waste the time, and you should teach them daily one skills, be it pottery or be it cooking skills or be it computer knowledge. Nowadays, a lot of courses are available. Even diploma courses is being offered in many institutes. Okay, like you can give them some extra knowledge. Okay, so that you know they can able to develop their skills. Okay, so with this, I would just like to conclude my session, and I'm very thankful to all the organizers of Association of Muslim Professionals of Tamil Nadu chapter for trusting me and giving me an opportunity to convey few informations regarding technology in education. Hope my session will be. Hope my session is very useful. And in case if anybody wants to clarify on something, you can ask now. You can post your comments in the chat box, as well as if you want to talk, you can talk. I'll unmute now. Yeah, there is one question which I have received. So kindly give idea tips on Zoom online class. Let me tell you one thing, Mr. KIB, I don't know your name. It is showing like KIB. See, online class is only a temporary thing. Now we are facing this pandemic. So due to health issues, we are afraid of the health and the hygiene of the students. So we cannot bring a huge population of the students, because if you go to any school, there will be minimum of 40 students in every class. And with this 40 students, making them sitting in a classroom is very difficult. That's the reason why government has initiated online class. And I request every parent that whether you take online class through Zoom or whether you take online class by watching the television I mean, the government has hosted online classes in TV also now. So whatever the mode of learning with which you are giving education to your children, you must also make sure to join and sit along with your student for at least 1 hour. I mean, at least at the time when they are learning in Zoom class. Okay, as a parent, you must sit along with them. You should help them to learn. Let them learn at least one skill every day. No problem. That one skill should be effective. If your child, if he is studying in first standard, if he doesn't know to draw, let him draw. You teach them how to draw. That drawing alone, whatever be the creativity he can show, if you sit and you encourage, then definitely it will invoke the interest on the student. If you don't sit and you ask, okay, I have given you the phone, okay, you just sit and follow the instruction of teacher, means it will be very difficult. The child will follow it for 1 day or two, but afterwards he will lose his interest. So till this pandemic gets over, I request every parents to help your child, to motivate your child. This is very, very important. And especially if develop the life skills of the children, whatever it may be. Okay, so you develop the life skills of the children. You should teach them how to keep their rooms clean, how to keep, how to maintain the hygiene. Okay, and if you have a girl child at home, you can teach her the cookery class. You can teach her the sewing class. Okay, you should teach her how to sew the, sorry, how to grab attention of children. One more question I have received: how to grab the attention of the children in this pandemic? See, let me tell you one thing. When you go for movies, how the children gets attention towards movies. So if a movie is very interesting, if the audio visual is interesting, then only they will have that view. Not only that, when we speak or when we try to communicate with the parents, okay, if you try to give a lot of puzzle-like activities to them, that will bring attention towards the children. Okay, like for example, um, if a topic is being taught about rhyming, if for example, if a teacher is teaching an online class about rhymes, a teacher will use a lot of innovative ways to teach. I'm not telling that teacher will not do, teacher will not teach them innovatively, but then as a parent, you also should sing along with the children. Then only, you know, the joy of learning will come. Otherwise, children will just lose interest. They will only see their teacher, they will fed up, and then they will say, okay, I'll just disconnect the class and I'll move on. Okay, so you should also become a children when you are trying to educate your children. And then one more question I have received: what is blended learning? Which free application is good? I mean, interactive one other than Zoom. See, there are a lot of applications which is available in online. Not only Zoom, Microsoft Team is also good. But let me tell you one thing, whatever the technological innovation you use, whatever the application you use, until and otherwise you ask your children to work out, it will not be effective. Okay, so as far as the free application is concerned, Zoom is very beneficial. Zoom has a lot of features in it for taking the online class. Even it has got whiteboard feature where a teacher can teach live. Okay, so that is very good. And what is blended learning? How to make self-learning effective? See, let me tell you one thing. When I was child, see, it differs from one child to another child. We cannot expect blended learning with the same, yeah, we cannot expect the same kind of blended learning with every child. Some child will pick the knowledge or pick the skills very quickly. Some child will take time to pick the skill. You must observe that. That is very, very important. And then you should try to apply the methodology of learning. Then only blended learning will happen. Like for example, I'll share my experience. When I was around some 10 to 12 years old, I was having a lot of interest in computers. We got computers in 90s itself. Okay, when the Windows 95 came, when the new computer technology came, at the time itself, we got computer. And in case if computer doesn't work properly, we used to call some computer operator. He will come to repair the computer. Other children, they will be focusing on playing cricket or something, right? But I was not like that. I used to go and sit next to him. I observe what he is doing. Whether I understood or not, it doesn't matter. I just observe what he is doing. And observation is the key. The next time when the same problem comes in computer, I try to put effort to fix it. Whether it get burned or whether it will get fixed or not, it doesn't matter. But I used to do. And you know, my father also, he used to support me. Whatever I do, he will not bother. He will encourage me. That encouragement is required for blended learning. So even if your child is taking a Rubik's cube and if he is trying to solve it, you must encourage him. Whether he is solving in first attempt or hundreds of attempts he makes, no problem. You must encourage them. Okay, and that's what everything will happen. Social, emotional learning, everything will happen just through the right encouragement. If you don't encourage your child, if you always say, "Ani makkadam," you cannot able to learn, then we cannot expect a great output from your child. So you must make sure whatever your child is doing, okay, let him do mistakes, no problem. You must encourage and you must teach him the right path. Even to learn cycling, okay, he has to fall down, right? So that is blended learning. So let him get hurt, okay, you must encourage them, okay, then definitely a lot of greater outputs will come. Anybody else has any questions, you can unmute and you can ask. Anybody else? So I hope my session is very useful. Yeah, one more questions I received in the chat box. Is online courses offered by various companies like graphic designing, photo editor, art and painting course could be safe? I mean, it is redirect to their website to register. It's safe for our privacy. Yeah, let me tell you one thing. Many online courses are available like Coursera, okay, then Udemy. So these are all the safe organizations. I mean, these are all the reputed organization. It has got their own trademarks. So if you teach your children through that organization, you don't have to worry about the privacy. Okay, it is really very safe. You can pick any online course. See, one more thing, let me tell you. If you go for free, then definitely there will be a lot of disadvantages. Even if somebody is giving you something at free of cost, you cannot expect the better quality in it. Like you might have seen, I don't want to say, many for political benefits they will distribute things at free of cost. But when you bring that thing to your home, then only you will realize, okay, this thing is not working effectively. See, if you want to get quality, you have to pay. Otherwise, you won't get that kind of quality education or quality learning, whatever it may be. So you can approach for online courses from Udemy or Coursera or whatever it may be, but you must make sure it is a paid course. If it is a paid course, then it will be definitely useful and that certificate will also be valid. Give idea for school teachers on Zoom meeting. Let me tell you one thing, like how everybody has some association, we can also make our own association. Anybody teachers from be it any school, be it CBSE, ICSE or state board, whatever, we can formulate a association. We can gather in a meeting. We only gather when DO calls or CO calls for a meeting, right? That should not be our motto. One school teacher must interact with other school teacher. If other school is doing well, you must make sure to get the ideas from them. Then only effective learning will happen, right? As a school teacher, you should not think, okay, my school only should be the best, other school should not, that should not be our motto. So if you have a association of teachers, they can join, and those who are thinking or those who are finding difficulty to take online classes or Zoom classes, or those who are finding difficulty to make presentations, they can join together. Those who are well versed in it, they can give training, right? Then only effective learning will happen across the town. Otherwise, learning will happen, but how far effective will happen, we cannot guarantee. There is one question from Kafil sir. The style of education in which students learn via electronic and online media as well as traditional face-to-face teaching is blended learning. Absolutely. So blended learning, we cannot only say that online teaching as well as the traditional teaching, face-to-face teaching, we can also include the practical knowledge of it. In face-to-face, we used to take the children for outdoor trips, practicals in labs, sports, everything together is a blended learning. Nowadays, students are not playing sports at all, right? So it will have a great great psychological impact on them. So we don't know unless and until the school starts, then only we will come to know how much psychologically they have affected, how much of depression and stress they have developed. So that we will come to know when we are in touch with the students. So I request the teachers, those whoever is taking online classes, you make contact to your children. You ask them how they are feeling, what is their need. And instead of only giving learning every day, sometimes you try to play games with them through online. Okay, the same thing, you can conduct quiz to them, online quiz you can conduct. Okay, there should be an interaction. Then you can conduct puzzles like Geopardy. Okay, so those things and all will make the student to relax in between. Since they are not going outdoors to play, at least let them play in indoors, and you motivate the student to do exercises. Okay, this is very important. Otherwise, if they go into stress, it will be very difficult for them to bring them back to the normal state. Anybody else is having any queries? Fine, ma'am, you can unmute now. I have you can unmute now, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Fine, ma'am, I think I have unmuted you. You can speak now. Hello. Is there any queries, any other questions? So shall I wind up my session? Yeah, there is one more question which I have received about augmented reality and virtual reality apps. Yeah, there are a lot of apps which governs augmented reality and virtual reality. Like you can use Google 3D option. For that, you don't have to require. For that, you don't have to use any other extra apps. You can definitely teach the children with the augmented reality techniques. But then for augmented reality, you have to buy the devices. Okay, you have to buy the Microsoft Glass or Google Glass. Then only it will be very effective. Without that, it will not be that much effective. But I'll tell you one thing: if you are teaching through PowerPoint, okay, you can download GIF images. GIF 3D images. I'll just post it in public. Okay, so you can download the GIF 3D images where whatever you are teaching in PowerPoint, okay, it will be like animated form. Like for example, how the molecule interacts with how the hydrogen oxygen combines to become water. If you want to teach that concept, so you can show it through 3D animated images, so that you can download it from Google itself. And there are a lot of other simulation apps. You can search this term in Google, simulation apps. This is almost similar to augmented reality, okay? So that you can apply when you are teaching about the concepts, about the complicated concepts for the children, okay? Especially in the science. Yeah, thank you. Anybody else? And make sure try to bring the reality instead of going for augmented reality. Try to teach them practically. Like for example, if you are talking about a static electricity, how it develops, you can take the video on your own, or you how to make a lemon battery. Okay, you can do that experiment at home itself, record the video and post it. That will be more effective. I think one of the teachers from Islamic school is doing like that. So try to do that. Okay, that will be very effective for the children to learn, and they can also try it at home. Yeah. So anybody else is having any queries? I'm very happy to accept your questions. So I hope this session is very useful. So don't forget to put your feedbacks. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining this session. I'm very glad to meet you all. We'll meet once again soon. Okay, till we meet next time. Take care. Stay home. Stay safe. Sorry.